Whole Food Revolution. I am Dr. Nelum. I'm a GP and I'm passionate about lifestyle and metabolic health for women.
And I'm Renee. I'm a happiness coach and I help people find peace and happiness in their own body and mind.
And we believe that true health comes from within. And when you combine science, lifestyle, and mindset, that's when the magic happens.
And we're unique because we think that we need to take care of the whole you. It's your body, it's your mind, it's your lifestyle. Only when you have a holistic approach, you can achieve a sustainable change. And today's episode, we're basically talking about choices.
Yeah.
A lot of people do say, I had no choice.
Yes. So I remember, Ronit, when I was a young mum, when I first started, started training as a GP. My younger son, he was only 4.5 months, or 6 months, and I had to put him into daycare when he was about 4.5 months because I had to go back to work, and there was some problem that happened within that daycare and I needed to move him. And I remember being very flustered and upset about this, and my trainer at the time sat me down and he taught me something that has stayed with me and really resonated for a long time. And what he said was, he said, Nelum, there are always options and choices. The question is, are you willing to consider all of them? And it was really good for me to hear that, because there were so many choices that I had, in terms of putting my son's care. And as soon as I kind of calmed down, took a deep breath and looked at these choices, I had so many different options. So, and it has helped me right throughout my years. So yeah.
And I want to say something about the ability to see choices. So our ability to consider choices goes hand in hand with the level of cortisol that we have in our body. So the more cortisol you have, the more stressed you are, the more afraid you are, the more worried you are, and so on. That basically shrinks your ability to see options. Now, the options, they all exist in
the
space
universe.
And time.
Yes.
They all exist. Our ability to consider them depends on how able we are to think clearly. And we cannot think clearly because we are designed and programmed that way, that when the cortisol goes up, that means that we are in danger.
That's what we perceive.
Exactly.
Yes.
Well, actually, the body thinks that.
We don't think it.
Yeah, you don't have to think it.
The body goes into that mode of there's a threat happening, I need to preserve myself.
Exactly. And when in this process of preserving ourselves, what happens is that the body sends all its energy to the heart, to the extremes,
to the brain.
Exactly.
Yes.
It makes you sharp and very, very single task oriented.
Yes, because that's all. The entire focus now is to keep you safe and to get you through this period of threat.
Now, we want you to understand that moment, the body is at all, it basically stops all other functions that are not necessary. So it's digestion and cognitive thinking and your social skills. Like, you don't go into the jungle and you see a lion and you say, how about we be friendly
fertility
now?
And things like
all those things are
systems.
luxury in a state of situation instead of danger. So when the cortisol goes up, it makes your body focus on only one thing. You cannot see any options at that moment. So the reason we couldn't see options is because we are stressed, because our mind basically lack energy, our body, the whole thing lack energy, because the energy goes into one place.
So you're right. I mean, I remember all those years ago when my trainer said this to me. Initially, it was like I heard the words, but I couldn't make sense of it. But it was when I came home, took a few deep breaths, that it made sense. became clear. So how would you then, so that's basically that cortisol
went down. So
yes,
the cortisol went down. Now look, the idea is basically to calm yourself down.
Yes.
You need to find a way of calming yourself down.
And the easiest is breathing, isn't it?
Yes, your breath is always with you, so you can
3
always
deep breaths.
It's easy.
Yes,
that is very, very easy. 3 deep breaths. Sometimes you just go in your head to think about good things.
Yes.
And so now we have a nice strategy that we use when people basically go into panic mode and so on, and we play this. Let's imagine a very absurd outcome.
Okay.
And
yes,
when I say absurd outcome, I mean it's like, just bring it, an alien came and
picked up my son and
disappeared,
or something like that.
Or something like this.
Yes, yes.
Something totally
ridiculous.
It doesn't have to be real even. It could be aliens and animals, and the elephant became this small, and then it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Now, the reason it works is because in order to create that imagination of this
scenario,
you have to leave the primitive brain and bring it from another place in your brain.
Right.
So what happened is that when we are stressed, when we are in high cortisol, we cannot imagine anything at the moment. We cannot consider options. We cannot do anything at all because the brain is only focusing on one thing. Now, the second you go from that place into your imagination to create that picture of the alien who came and picked up your son, for example, then you have to let go
of that immense, that threatening feeling.
You cannot be in threat while you're doing the imagination thing. So your brain says, oh, okay, it's not that bad because I can imagine this thing here. And then the cortisol goes up straight away.
Right.
Because you basically told your brain now, look, I'm not really in danger. It's like, really, I'm only upset or I don't think of any other options. But hey, look, I found a funny option. And then the brain says, oh, okay, so I'm not going to die now. So seriously, this person, this body that I need to take care of is not really under a threat.
So, and it's good that I'm so glad that you talked about this, Ronit, because I think that understanding for all of us, because sometimes we are in situations where, my role what I'm talking about is my role as a GP and giving advice to somebody and thinking, well, sometimes my patients say, no, I can't do that, and I can't do this, and I don't want to do that, and whatever option is given, it seems as if they don't want to. So now my understanding of that, so it's really about understanding that they're in that place of fear.
Exactly.
And
when someone says, I have this, look, I failed on this bit, like I've used the word, I've tried everything, which is like wrong. It's wrong. It's not true. If you're breathing, you haven't tried everything. Because there are so many options that you did not think about, or you didn't consider all those things, but there are always ways. And I remember that because when I studied special education, we had amazing teachers that we just said to us, look, it doesn't matter what I do with this kid. Like, I've tried everything working with this kid, and nothing works. And my teachers, they were awesome teachers, and they said to me, Renee, you just haven't found the solution yet.
Yes.
There's always a solution.
That's right.
You just haven't found the solution. It's a good mentality to adopt, because it means that the options exist.
And they are endless. So I think that's the thing, isn't it? I think that little nugget of wisdom that, there are always options. And are you willing to consider them all? I think, and if you're not, then ask yourself, why not?
Yes. Right? What am I so afraid of? Why is my body in such a high cortisol stressful situation that I cannot consider those options. So it's always, the options are always there. Okay.
So, all right. So hopefully that has helped you. And if you like what we talk about, then please subscribe and share this with anybody who you think will benefit. Bye.
Bye bye. Thank you.